Oh, hey!
Looking for some swag? Here at My Custom Swag, we will imprint, embroider, or laser engrave your name or message on practically anything you want. Water bottles, t-shirts, jackets, caps, banners, business cards. We'll even wrap your company vehicle in vinyl. Best of all, we won't break the bank. There's no minimum order required on most items. My Custom Swag is a proud American family-owned and operated business. So let's get creative. Express yourself and call My Custom Swag or visit mycustomswag.com today.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. By combining the latest manufacturing methods, cutting-edge technology, and data, we're creating next-generation protection for players. When we introduced SpeedFlex, a shell that flexes to reduce impact forces to the player, we didn't just change the game of helmet design, we created an icon. And that wasn't all. We also introduced our pioneering Insight Smart Helmet technology, collecting impact data that shapes the way we think about head protection. After this step forward, we developed Precision Fit, a process that uses 3D scanning to build a truly customized interior. And now, our diamond technology reimagines the DNA of the helmet. The new 3D printed lattice liner system uses our latest data to allow impact absorption to be custom tuned. It's this same data that's driving our development of even more customized protection, position-specific helmets.
And a pleasant good evening and welcome to Veterans Memorial Stadium here in West Haven, Connecticut. It is East Coast Football League action in week number 2 between the Connecticut Mustangs and the Southern New England Admirals, both sides coming in undefeated on the season. They've won their first games 1-0 for each side, and the one best thing about football is there's no ties. Somebody's going down tonight, and we will have a team at 1-1 as the season proceeds into week 3. Matt Ellis alongside Tyler Sumner. Tyler, last week for Southern New England, Jeff Costa, 192 yards, passing 2 touchdowns, even though they tried to establish the ground game. If Southern New England does that again tonight, is it deceptive to the Connecticut Mustangs?
I think it's very deceptive to the Connecticut Mustangs because 192 passing yards for a quarterback is just exceptional. It's kind of like Tom Brady numbers there almost. And you look at the Admirals coming into this game at 1-0 and the Mustangs coming into this game 1-0. It should be a great matchup, Matt.
We will see how these two teams stack up. As we mentioned, both sides 1-0 on the season as we go into week 2 in the ECFL, and we'll get you updated, of course, on scores from around the league, as most of the other games today were in the afternoon, and so therefore we have those scores already available to us as we get set for the 7 p.m. kickoff, and the sun setting directly on the opposite side from our broadcast position, so we apologize for any sun glare that you might see as we get started. Connecticut Mustangs in the all-orange home jerseys with the blue numbers and the white trim. Southern New England Admirals in the road whites with the red, and Southern New England is going to get the ball to start here on the kickoff. And it is up. Takes a short little bounce, and we're underway as that one is scooped and then carried forward. And for Southern New England, looked to be the 10 of James Suber. with the run back. So it's going to set us 1st and 10. Ball from the 28-yard line. As we mentioned, Costa, 192 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. As he sets behind center, pistol formation. Costa drops back, gets that one complete at the 35. And a good pickup there by the 6 of Mark Gavora. That's good for 5. And it's going to bring it's going to be a little bit more than that. It's going to bring it to about 2nd and 3.
And that's one thing.
And Costa, they send the 10 in motion, handoff in the backfield. That's going to go only good for about 2, and that's going to set up 3rd and 1. So a 3rd and 1 here for the Admirals, and they've gone one play in the air and then one play on the ground, Tyler.
Yeah, the Admirals really are struggling right now to get some decent amount of yardage, but let's see what they do here on 3rd and 1, Matt.
Picked up about 6 on that first down pass play, only picked up 2 on that run play. Costa again in that pistol formation. They go outside to Suber. He's going to pick up the first down. That one's good for about 7 or 8. Up to the 45 and a 1st and 10.
And that, Matt, is one thing we talk about here with Costner, is that's where he gets his yardage from. He's really good on looking for those short slant routes and getting the yardage for his receiver.
2 plays on that slant route, 2 times. They pick up about 7 on the play. They're going to set it just a yard back, so it's going to be 1st and 10 from the 46 for the Admirals. That one's an incomplete pass. And an ECFL clock rule, incomplete passes do not stop the clock. A little bit of a modified rule here as we play at this semi-pro level, and a whistle and a time out called by the officials will stop the clock. That will give us a chance to catch up our broadcast clock, which is a little bit off. It's a dead ball foul for unsportsmanlike conduct. And a 15-yard penalty is going to set them way back at the 29-yard line. That is a huge loss when you go from 1st and 10 or 2nd and 10 at the 44 to now the 30-yard line, and you've got to go 2nd down. Outside, blowing past the play, and on a hard run all the way to the house. And Dre Williams takes it yard for the 6.
You know, Costner with a great short pass there, and the receiver right there, Matt, I'll tell you, got all the blocking he really needed on that play.
Dre Williams just took it straight down the line. And they are setting for the point after attempt, and this is Costa, the quarterback, setting in for the kick. That kick is up, and it's good. So they add one to the mix, and it's 7-0 for the Admirals here early on.
Yeah, the Admirals jumping ahead with that 7-0 lead. And Matt, that's one thing we talked about early before the game started, is the Admirals like to start on their opponent early on during the game.
So a quick first series for the Admirals. They take about 5 minutes off of the game clock, but in the span of that, they were able to take it from the original starting position around about the 30-yard line where they actually started. They got pushed back there at one point on the penalty, all the way down for 6, and then Costa hits the point after attempt, and so it's going to set up Connecticut Mustangs for the first time to go on offense. Looks to be Terrell Fairweather back there, and that one's going to go short and out of bounds. Well, that's going to start the Mustangs in good field position. And we apologize for those of you watching the broadcast on ECFL.us. Very bad signal here in West Haven. And we're going to continue to try to work that issue as we go on. And the Mustangs go play right up the middle on first down, and that is just nothing doing.
And you look at that block there, right there from the Admirals, just stuffing the Mustangs running back like he's a Thanksgiving turkey.
They went straight up the middle and no space there. So we continue on, 2nd and 12. And that one will be a pass complete to the outside. And that's going to be good for about 7. And that's going to set up a 3rd down and about 2.
The Mustangs really have to make something happen here on this play to get a first down or more in order to tie the game up here, Matt.
It's early on, so I would be, not so much to be thinking about having to force a tie right away. And flags fly for the 2nd time today, and that one came quickly in from the side judge and the back judge. And it's false start on the Mustangs, and that's going to push them back. So it's going to set from what would have been a 3rd and 2. Is going to now end up being a 3rd and about 7. And that one is an intended pass that goes incomplete.
Nearly picked off there, well, as two, Matt, because you have to think about this. If the Admirals intercepted that ball, who knows what their defense could have done with it.
So here's a situation, 4th down and about 7. First time tonight that we've seen a 4th down situation. Of course, only the second offensive series of the game. So they're still trying to figure out what they're going to do here on this play. Fourth and 7. And it looks like they're trying to line up on this one in a punt formation. So we're going to get the punt. Took a long time for the Mustangs to figure out what they were doing offensively there. Huge punt. This one goes way up. Caught far in the back field. Hurdling up over to the 30, down to the 34. And that'll bring a stoppage of play. Trey Williams again.
And Dre Williams has really been the star for the Admirals here, Matt. I mean, with that huge touchdown run and now a short but good punt return.
So Admirals set up for their second offensive possession of the game. 7-0 with about 6 and change left to go here officially in the first quarter of action. Again, we apologize for the technical difficulties here regarding the video getting not a great signal strength here. And a big man running to midfield. And it's the 34 of Roland. Or my apologies. Yeah, that is.
And Matt, 34 really just bullied his way up the middle there to the outside corner.
I checked that. My apologies. They have two 34s. It's Daryl Cyprin. That is the ECFL rule playing on NCAA jersey rules that you could have two players with the same number. And I got caught on that one last game. Have to correct myself on that one. That is Daryl Cyprin back there. Costa in trouble. Costa's going to throw it away as he gets hit in the backfield. Incomplete pass. They want intentional grounding, saying that he was outside of the tackle box. Referees say no. So Costa just gets the incomplete pass, and it'll set up 2nd and 10.
Very close call there. Could have gone either way for that play right there. But 2nd and 10 for the Admirals. Matt, and it seems to be interesting right now for their position on the field.
5 and change left to go here in the first quarter. Costa checking the armband after he gets the signal in from the sideline. No in-ear monitors like you have in the NFL. Costa drops back, launches that one. It's up over top of the outstretched arms of Avora, and that's going to be an incomplete pass. Clock continues to run in the ECFL. It is a running clock rule, even after incomplete passes. Helps make the pace of play of the game go a little bit faster. Now a 3rd and 10. What looked to be a promising start to the drive after the big run by Cyprian has died all of a sudden on 2 incomplete passes.
Yeah, the Admirals really haven't done much offensively since that big run by Cyprian up the middle and to the outside pitch.
Well, Cyprian's in the backfield again as they go with him off of the side of Costa. That shotgun formation, fake play action to Cyprian. Back on the outside, he's going to be short of the first down, but a good play there. As he tried to get on the outside edge again was Dre Williams, where he saw him go for that long run for the touchdown. And it's going to be 4th down and about 4. And the Admirals have to decide for the first time today what they're going to do, though Costa comes back out onto the field here. So are the Admirals going to try to go for it on 4th down?
That last play by the Admirals, Costa with a great short pass, got enough yardage but didn't get enough to go.
Offsides as the flag flies. Free play. Costa's going to go down. 2nd flag. 3rd flag is going to come in. And that may be huge for the Admirals. This is going to be a 1st down and then some because there's 2 penalties on the play. There's going to be the initial offsides penalty. Then there's going to be a penalty later on. That may be a dead ball foul, and if that ends up as unsportsmanlike conduct, there's 3 flags on the play, and we'll see what the referee says. Offside, that penalty is declined. Personal foul, face masking, that penalty will be accepted, and we're going to get 1st down.
2 huge penalties that hurt the Mustangs there, Matt. They had the Admirals at 4th down, but now they just gave them a free 1st down.
Either way, that was going to end up being a 1st down. The question was how much of a 1st down was it going to be? It ends up being a huge 1st down, as instead of it just being 5, it's 15, and it sets the ball at the 29-yard line. And the Admirals in striking position. Cyprian again, big man through the middle. He's going to get that one down to the 21-yard line, a yard shy of 1st down. It's going to set up 2nd and 1. Inside of 3 left to go here in this first quarter. And the Admirals knocking on the door of the red zone again, just shy of it at the 21-yard line. And they want to go 1st down here for 2 yards. Cyprian is going to go to the outside. He's going to get bottled up. Cyprian turning the legs, and he's going to get the 1st down.
What a huge first quarter here for Cyprian, Matt.
He just turned backwards and started pedaling, and he pushed that whole entire D-line back. Had about 4 or 5 guys on him in orange. And Cyprian gets the 1st down, and the Admirals are into the red zone for the 2nd time today. They set one man in motion. Costa again from the shotgun. Takes that, looks, a little bit of time, steps up to the pocket, throws complete. And that will be good for about 3 or 4 yards. And again, it's that 6 of Markovora. And it's really been a timeout as an injured player is down on the field for the Admirals. And it's been Markovora. It's been that 2 of Dre Williams that have been the offense today for Costa and the Admirals so far.
From what I'm seeing here, Matt, it looks to be Cyprin who was the injured player on the field, but Costa and the number 2 receiver there are having a great game and a great connection.
So is that the offensive? Might be the offensive linebacker. I think that was 20. Izzy the Best that we saw getting pulled off of the field. As Izzy the Best is the injured player. Cyprian lines up in the backfield right next to Costa as they go here on that 2nd down and 4. And that's going to be a flag flying and false start called on the Admirals. That'll back him up 5. And this is going to make it a 2nd down and long now. So just as they were approaching really good place at around about the 11-yard line, they're going to end up back around about the 16-yard line. And so now we're back to a 2nd and 10.
I'll tell you one thing, Matt. Cyprin and penalties have been the story of this game so far in this first quarter.
Penalties on both sides. They're about even at 3 apiece. In motion, play action, fake to Cyprin, and they go on the outside to Dre Williams. Dre Williams gets absolutely rung at about the 6-yard line, pops right back up on the play, but Williams is able to get them down to a manageable 3rd and 1.
Yeah, Costa and Williams have that special connection right now on the field where Costa's main man has been Dre Williams, and a huge gain offensively for the Admirals.
We'll see what they can do here in the final minute of this first quarter. Costa takes a high snap. Cyprian churning the legs, still churning. They're going to call forward progression dead. And it's going to be 1st and goal for the Admirals as the final seconds tick off here in this first quarter. See if they can get one more play. Costa holds, looking in the corner, no flags for pass interference. As he tried to get that one. And that one is incomplete. And brings us to the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, great quarter so far from the Admirals. And like I said previously, Matt, the story of it so far has been all Cyprin.
Are we going to get one more play? I guess the referees have the official game clock, and they say that there's still a time left on the game clock. So we're going to go with one more play. Cyprian to the 6, no go, and that should bring us to the end of the first quarter. Looking for a signal from the referee. He's looking at the side judge. And they're going to pick the ball up and say that is the end of the first quarter. We're through 1. Admirals 7, Mustangs nothing. You're watching ECFL football on ECFL.us, presented by Fans Only Sports Network.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. By combining the latest manufacturing methods, cutting-edge technology, and data, we're creating next-generation protection for players. When we introduced SpeedFlex, a shell that flexes to reduce impact forces to the player, we didn't just change the game of helmet design, we created an icon. And that wasn't all. We also introduced our pioneering Insight Smart Helmet technology, collecting impact data that shapes the way we think about head protection. After this step forward, we developed Precision Fit, a process that uses 3D scanning to build a truly customized interior. And now, our Diamond technology reimagines the DNA of the helmet. The new 3D printed lattice liner system uses our latest data to allow impact absorption to be custom tuned. It's this same data that's driving our development of even more customized protection, position-specific helmets, and we won't stop there. We're leading the way to a future where helmets are designed for an individual athlete's playing style, creating a new generation of helmets that are as unique as the players who wear them. Our engineers are designing the future of the...
As we welcome you back for the second quarter. And first play from scrimmage and a huge sack as the Mustangs defense got right through and nailed them down, and that ball is back at the 14-yard line, and that is now a 4th and very long to start the second quarter.
That's a huge defensive stop for the Mustangs there on defense, and they really needed to force that first down to avoid going down 14-zip.
And we apologize for the technical difficulties with the video signal during the first quarter of the game. Looks like we may have gotten that sorted out. And if you are, and this one's going to get Costa to the outside, pulled off of the turf at the 4-yard line. And that is going to be no good. And that's a turnover on downs. And that was the 10 of James Suber on the outside. And it's going to send it first down to the Mustangs instead.
Mustangs got the ball back on offense, Matt. However, they have a long field to travel if they want to go and tie this game up.
So Admirals, turnover on downs. Mustangs try to get that one up the middle, nothing doing, and still so far on offense, a hard time for the 11 of Ryan Balaguerra to get this offense started for the Mustangs.
Mustangs with a good gain there for the running play. However, still not enough to move the chains.
They move the down marker 2 yards, and it sets up a 2nd and about 8. Again, that same shotgun formations, or the pistol formation there. Balaguerra takes that snap, play action fake inside, trying to go outside, going up the ladder, and it hits off of the top of the dome. And the Trail Lions cannot get it, and that is a huge play to be able to block him out. The Trail Lions, one of the players to watch on this Connecticut Mustangs team. So, again, a third down situation for the Mustangs in Palagera. They've tried to go to the Lions a couple of times, hasn't worked. Palagera holds back, pocket collapses, tries to go to the outside. That ball's going to hit the turf. And again, fourth down as that one goes short in front of the number 3 of Jason Atterbury.
Right now, it just looks like the quarterback of the Mustangs can't really find his receivers and lock onto them, Matt.
So another 3 and out for the Mustangs. And Palagera cannot be able to complete passes, whether he goes to Atterbury on one side or to the Lions on the other side. And it's going to set up a fourth down and a second punt coming from the Mustangs. And the Admirals are going to line up short. It looks to be the 6 of Markovora, maybe might be the short man there. No, actually it's the 3. So 3 of C.K. Miles and then Dre Williams. That one's going to bounce out of bounds instead, and that's going to be a great field position pickup for the Admirals. They're going to get that one 1st and 10 from the 24.
You know, Matt, it looks like if you look back on that play, one of the Admirals actually tipped the ball as it was getting punted off.
So 1st and 10 from the 24 for Jeff Costa and the Admirals on their 3rd offensive drive of the game. They produced points on the first one. That one's going to go all the way in, and again, it's one open play, and they can't get there. Costa had a corner route wide open.
And the Mustangs, they're really just applying the pressure to Costa and the Admirals there with a huge sack that sends them way back.
Yeah, that was a play. If they went to the corner, they were in for a touchdown. And Costa has a little chat. Again, a blitz play. Gets that one off in the flat. And Dre Williams.
Again, Costa finds Dre Williams, and really, Dre Williams has been his most efficient and effective target in this game with multiple yards as a receiver in this game right now, Matt.
Timeout called. By the Admirals, and we'll take the quick timeout as well. You're watching ECFL football on ECFL.us, presented by Fans Only Sports Network.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Prevacol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
We can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this many years ago, one of my first questions was, will this help me? And he goes, no, this is for treatment immediately when a concussion.
Seven and change left to go here in the second quarter, or so we assume. And a penalty for false start, and that's going to back them up 5 yards. And instead of a 3rd and 2, they're going to have a 3rd and about 7.
Another penalty here in this game, Matt, and it's really costing the Admirals yardage here as we see the Admirals going back and forth because of penalties and plays.
So 3rd and 7. And now an empty backfield for Costa. And now another whistle and another stoppage of play. And a delay of game on the Admirals. So they get a full start penalty and then a delay of game penalty. Now you're at 3rd and 11.
3rd and 11, and they keep moving back, Matt. It just looks like the Admirals can't figure out something of an offensive groove as of late against this Mustangs on this drive.
Costa sends one. And that one is a run up the middle by Costa, and he only picks up about 4 on that play. That's going to make it a 4th and 5. So 4th and 5 for Costa and the Admirals as they've gotten back to the 19. And apparently, during that break in the quarter, the Mustangs switched, and now timeout called by the Admirals. In that break, that timeout in between the first and second quarter, it's clear the Mustangs made an adjustment in the middle of the line because all of a sudden, Costa can't get to Williams. He can't get Cyprian up the middle. He can't even run himself up the middle. They've locked out that box.
Yeah, something changed in the transition from the first to the second quarter here of play for the Mustangs defense because, like you said, Matt, they really found a way to stuff up the middle, and they're making it work as well.
So now we're going to have to see what Costa and the Admirals do after that timeout on 4th down and about 5. The line of scrimmage is the 21, or sorry, is the 19. Now we're having a discussion on the sideline. I think they were signaling time on the field. To the outside, and incomplete. Goes the pass from Costa to Suber. It would have been good enough for a first down if he was able to complete that pass, but he is not, and that's going to be a turnover on downs.
And Matt, like we both previously mentioned, this Mustangs defense in the second quarter has really shaped up and figured out a defensive role here and made it work, forcing a turnover on downs and a huge opportunity here to tie this game up heading into the second half.
So 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, their second offensive series of the game. And we'll see if they can break things out this time. Falagura has had a tough run at quarterback for the Mustangs, trying to go to Lions. That one is up the middle, and they're going to stop that one about 2 yards from the line of scrimmage. It's going to set up a 2nd and 8 after they try to go or run up the middle with Kelly. Who was the runner on that?
Admiral again.
Montreal Dobbs in the backfield for the Mustangs. Trying to go on the outside. And that's going to be a good pickup for about 6 or 7. It's going to set up third and about 2.
Mustangs there really found a great way to get the passing game involved. And I'll tell you, Matt, watching that play, you saw the receiver who caught the ball absolutely light up one of the Admirals' heads.
For the first quarter and a half, we've been talking about Zachar Lyons and saying Zachar Lyons incomplete pass after the Admirals keyed on him. That time, they still key on Lyons, and Lyons is able to make the connection. And that one's going to be good for third down and about 3. Outside and going up the ladder to get it. And that's going to be first down for the Mustangs. That's their first down of the game, and it's the 88 of Alex Hopkins. Well, that's the first down the Mustangs have picked up after 2 3-and-out series. We talked about the change on defense. Looks like they made a change on offense, too. Faloga, 2 passes, 2 completions.
Yeah, the Mustangs really figuring it out here in the second quarter going into the second half. And I'll tell you, Matt, whatever they're doing and whatever their coaches talk to them about has really sparked a light in this team.
Well, we could hear during one of the commercial breaks one of the coaches down there on the Mustangs sideline yelling, "Wake up," at the guys. Faloga under center, handoff, run right through the middle. That's going to pick up 3 or 4 on the play. It's going to set up a second down and about 4, actually, or 5. So they're going to give it to him at the 40. No, they're going to put that ball at the 39, so just shy of the 40-yard line. And it's going to set up second down.
You know, Matt, we've been talking a lot about the Mustangs passing game here, but if you look back at that play, they just got the run game more involved too. So it really looks on both sides of the ball with passing and running the football that the Mustangs are making it work.
They pick up 6 on the play. And ball at the 39. Man in motion takes the snap. And they cover that one up as they're going to haul him down right at the line of scrimmage. That was the 3 of Jason Atterbury in motion.
Great motion play there, Matt, by the Mustangs. Really didn't expect that from them there, but that just goes to show you that the Mustangs are able and capable of pulling tricks out their bag.
Gladiator Kaswaya, the defensive lineman for the Admirals, right there to wrap Atterbury up before he could make the turn. Huge play by Kaswaya. When you got a first name like Gladiator, you better be getting in the circle.
Oh my God! I mean, he's probably out there saying this is Sparta, Matt.
That was a big play on defense. There goes Kaswaya again right up the middle, but they get that one off to Hopkins. Hopkins catches that pass outside right at midfield, and then will spin himself a little bit more for about 2 more and get himself to about the 48 and a half. They're going to mark the ball at the 48 on the opposite side, and it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Mustangs, and 2 first downs picked up on this drive after 3 and outs on their first 2 drives.
Yeah, the Mustangs really figuring it out here in the second quarter, Matt. And I'll tell you, it looks like they just keep on moving the chains with force in full effect.
So here we go. Failuga. That one's to the outside, and that ball floated for a moment. And an incomplete pass as they were trying to look for Hopkins on the opposite side, and a little bit of extracurriculars after the play. And CK Miles there in the mix, along with the double zero of Randy Butler.
You know, Matt, going back to that previous play where the Mustangs have their huge drive, and the quarterback of the Mustangs is looking to target the big man, Alex Hopkins, there, as he's been the force for the Mustangs. So we got to wonder what the Mustangs quarterback's going to do here.
That is a big man. He's wearing 88 and not 87, but that is a Rob Gronkowski-sized guy. And they're trying to get that one punched through the middle, and the sun setting right through the gap in the trees has gone right into our camera shot. And we have the highest filter setting that we can have on our camera right now, and that's how crazy this broadcast position is from where we are. There's nothing we can do about that one, ladies and gentlemen. That is just unfortunate for a 7 p.m. game in the summertime.
They always say it's sunny in Philadelphia, but it looks like it's sunny in the broadcast booth in Connecticut, man.
It is sunny in West Haven, Connecticut, and that is it right there. We're going to pull this one back a little bit and try to see if we can get you a shot. Go down, just tilt down. Yep, there you go. And we're just going to have to tilt down a little bit and go low. Hallelujah. To the outside, slipped, intercepted. And that's headed the other way on an interception by the 35 of Jude Felix.
Matt, you want to talk about big moments, big plays. Jude Felix with a huge interception there, forcing a turnover late in the second quarter to stop this game from getting tied going into the half.
Atterbury slipped on the turf trying to make a turn, and Felix just jumped the route. That was a perfect play by Falagera, and that was just unfortunate situation. So here we go, 1st and 10 for the Admirals. They run again, flag flies, going all the way down, up the ladder. Did he get it? They want pass interference. No. Call from the referees downfield on the incomplete pass as they were trying to go deep downfield to the 9 of James Nadoff. And a flag back behind the line of scrimmage. And they're going to have a conversation about that whole fisticuff down at the 10-yard line. Was it PI on Nadoff? Was it PI on the defender for the Mustangs? Mustangs players are pointing at the Admirals. They think that the initial flag back here is holding inside.
Yeah, Matt, from what I could see back here, really confusing play here as to what the penalty could be, because it looks like there could be multiple penalties. There could be holding, or there could be passing interference. So let's wait until we see what the call is here from the referees.
Hey, we're going to get penalties both ways. Holding on the Admirals declined. And it's going to be first down, Mustangs. So it's holding on the Admirals. The penalty is declined. The Mustangs will get the ball on the PI that actually was an interception. And it's Mustangs ball, 1st and 10 from the 23.
You know, Matt, what do we say about karma on defense? It often comes back to hit you again. And the Admirals had an interception way back at the other side of their field, and now the Mustangs do the same to the Admirals.
And a whistle from the referees, and I think that was 2-minute warning. That was. Timing rules a little bit different here in the ECFL. We're trying to get used to them. And we had a clock on the scoreboard in the first quarter, and then the referees told them to just not run the clock. Here's a good run on the outside as he caught the edge and got up to the 36-yard line. And again, that's the 13 in the orange and blue of the Mustangs. And that's Montreal Dobbs.
You know, Matt, Montreal Dobbs there really got a great halfback pitch to the outside there to get a great gain of yardage for the Mustangs.
Empty backfield. No, they have him still on the outside, and that one little hidden behind the quarterback. That was a sneaky play as they tried to hide the 7 of Justin Wills. Or sorry, my apologies. That's the 1 of Harold Cooper. They tried to hide the 1 of Harold Cooper. Could not see him behind the quarterback. Thought they had an empty backfield there. Felt like had Cooper hidden behind him. And Cooper snuck out the side. They're going to go again. Look at this play. Cooper is literally hidden right behind Falagera. Falagera deep. Up the ladder. It pops out. Good play out again. And guess who? Once again, it was that 88. That big 88. And Alex Hopkins could not go up the ladder that time completely and be able to get it.
I mean, Matt, if you just look at Alex Hopkins, he's the size of Rob Gronkowski, number 88, and he's playing both sides of the ball here. What can't he do in this game?
So we're going to see what they do here on 3rd and long.
Yo, play back, Finn!
And they're going to go for it again. Palagera's in trouble. That one's going to go outside, and that's going to go over top of the head of Harold Cooper. And that's incomplete. And that's going to be a 4th and long, and there's got to be just seconds left in this half. Timeout called by the Mustangs. It's 7-0. Seconds before the half. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching East Coast Football League action on Fans Only Sports Network. As we're back, and we believe it's about 10 seconds left in this second quarter here. And they are missing one player on the field for the Mustangs here as they try to go. Falagera's got a 4th down and super long, and he's just going to pooch punt that one all the way back. Dre Williams is going to let it bounce at the 30, back to the 24. They're going to tap it there, and I think that's going to be halftime.
A great first half here, Matt. Obviously, the Admirals are up 7-0, but the Mustangs really showing some real great passion to push forward and try to take control of this game going into the 3rd quarter.
Mustangs definitely had a better second quarter than the first. They couldn't put any points on the board, but they held the Admirals scoreless. We hit 7-0 at the half. We're going to take the halftime break as well. We'll see you back here for the second 30 minutes of action. You're watching East Coast Football League on ECFL.us.
Oh, hey!
Looking for some swag? Here at My Custom Swag, we will imprint, embroider, or laser engrave your name or message on practically anything you want. Water bottles, t-shirts, jackets, caps, banners, business cards. We'll even wrap your company vehicle in vinyl. Best of all, we won't break the bank. There's no minimum order required on most items. My Custom Swag is a proud American family-owned and operated business. So let's get creative. Express yourself and call My Custom Swag or visit mycustomswag.com today.
Riddell has been at the forefront of innovation in football equipment. By combining the latest manufacturing methods, cutting-edge technology, and data, we're creating next-generation protection for players. When we introduced SpeedFlex, a shell that flexes to reduce impact forces to the player, we didn't just change the game of helmet design, we created an icon. And that wasn't all. We also introduced our pioneering Insight smart helmet technology, collecting impact data that shapes the way we think about head protection. After this step forward, we developed Precision Fit, a process that uses 3D scanning to build a truly customized interior. And now, our diamond technology reimagines the DNA of the helmet. The new 3D printed lattice liner system uses our latest data to allow impact absorption to be custom tuned. It's this same data that's driving our development of even more customized protection, position-specific helmets. And we won't stop there. We're leading the way to a future where helmets are designed for an individual athlete's playing style, creating a new generation of helmets that are as unique as the players who wear them. Our engineers are designing the future of the game today.
Game On mouthguards. Game On mouthguards have superior shock absorbency, are impervious to viruses and bacteria, and also is the only mouthpiece ever to earn the American Dental Association's seal of acceptance.
We understand an upside-down world, but they're writing us off before we get to the starting line. A stalled generation? Who do you think is going to fix all this? We will, because our future is the future. The next greatest generation is now.
And we welcome you back to second half action here on ECFL.US, presented by Fans Only Sports Network. Southern New England Admirals, Connecticut Mustangs locked. It is 7-0. Southern New England scored on the first possession of the game, and then since then it's been a defensive show on both sides. Alex Hopkins, they've tried to get him going for the Mustangs, and they have not been able to, and it has been a day. The Charles Lions and Alex Hopkins, neither. As that one gets picked up by the Mustangs. Trying to go to the outside now. A cut back to the inside. This is going to be huge field position for the Mustangs. Great run back by Juwan Manning. Flags fly after the play. Juwan Manning, huge run back. And that's going to put them 1st and 10 from the 40. Or is this going to come back a bit? Yeah, this one looks like it's coming back. So a penalty to start the third quarter of action as we welcome you back in the broadcast booth at the Air Matt Jones alongside Tyler Sumner. And we were talking about penalties in the first half. We get yellow laundry on the field. We're not even really into this third quarter.
I mean, this game so far, Matt, almost reminds me of that Super Bowl a number of years ago between the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. The story of that game was penalties, and it's shaping up to be the exact same way here. And the Mustangs, costly penalties here, which they would have had a big game, but now they set themselves all the way back up to nearly where they returned the ball from.
Yeah, so that one is a unsportsmanlike conduct foul. They give it on both sides, actually, and so they take the return. There's a holding inside. Free play for Falguera, and Falguera just throws an incomplete pass. There is 2 flags down on the field. And so the amount of laundry continues. Holding on the Mustangs is the one lone call. And they're going to send that one back a little bit. And so we're going to have a 10-yard penalty, and that's going to set them back for a 1st and 20. So the ball will get placed at the 26-yard line. And 1st down. And we are, rather than having clock issues, we're just going to kind of keep this one. We'll let the referees handle the clock. They asked that the stadium clock get turned off, and they're just going to handle it from the field. Falguera again, incomplete pass as he tried to go right up the center to the Charles Lions. This is like first quarter again all of a sudden. Falguera tried to go to Lions, no connection.
Yeah, Falguera really struggling to find any target of this matter, and the Lions seemingly can't get a good read on the ball because the Admirals have him in such tight coverage. You got to wonder if Falguera is going to switch it up here and try to hit his big man, Alex Hopkins, on the next play.
Well, they've tried to go to Hopkins outside multiple times as well, and they've been unable to complete to him. And we'll see what they do here. So Falguera, Cooper off to the side. Snap back. Pocket collapses. Falguera is flushed out again. Goes on the outside. They get that one complete. Just about the stick. And that's the Charles Lions on the outside, and that's it, and that's good for 9, and it's going to be 3rd. Oh, my apologies. That's good for 9 to be 3rd and about 11. So back to the original line of scrimmage, quote unquote. And a third down.
Matt, with this play coming up here on this third down, it's going to be very interesting to see what the Mustangs will do here to see if they can get that go-ahead gain for a first down or if there will be perhaps another penalty, as that seems to be the story of today.
So Falliger on third down. Harold Cooper again in the backfield. Play action fake again. Lions. First down, they get it good for 12. Well, that works. Zatrell Lions twice from Falligera for 9, and then for 12, they get back the 20 and then some, and it's 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48.
And Matt, going back to what we were talking about here early on in the first minutes of this opening third quarter, we said that Falligera couldn't find his man in Lions, and now he just had a gain of 12. So it looks like something just clicked, and now they're finding a rhythm almost on the offensive side of the football.
Still putting Cooper in the backfield. We've seen pistol formation out of both of these offenses almost every single play. They're going to go to Cooper. Cooper up the middle. That'll be good for about 3. And Harold Cooper is going to get them to midfield, just over midfield, and that's going to be 2nd down. So the Mustangs a little late to the third quarter party, and a flag flies, and sideline infraction on the Mustangs. So that is a warning that will not cost the Mustangs any. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from midfield. And ECFL doesn't have as big of a staff as NFL teams do on the coaching. So you don't have that get back coach that you hear about sometimes, making sure they control the sidelines.
Oh, of course, Matt. That's a huge
Falligera again up inside and a huge sack. And that for the Admirals is the 34 on defense. And I'm going to make sure I get this right because this is where they have 2 numbers. That is not Daryl Cyprian, who wears 34 on the offensive side.
You know, Matt, looking back at that play, really the Admirals' defense just looks like the guy who sacked Falligera became Aaron Donald there for a split second.
It's Kaimani Rowland, who wears 34 on defense. It's that NCAA rule. It allows you to have players with multiple jersey numbers, and I didn't necessarily agree with that rule in the NCAA. I think it's weird. I was okay with it until Notre Dame allowed it to happen, and I went, what the heck? And that was my point where I'm like, no, timeout, no way. This is not happening in college football. Yeah. If the NFL does it, I think people are going to go ballistic.
Oh, if the NFL does it, everybody's going to lose their mind because you'll have 2 99s on the field, and you'll have, say, Des Bryant gets back on the Dallas Cowboys, you'll have 88 and 88. So let's just hope that doesn't happen there, Matt.
That was the 13 in orange and blue of Montreal Dobbs trying to go up the center of the field, and nothing good there, and that's a 4th down and long after that sack, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and send in the special teams unit, and we're going to get another punt. That's Kemuel Lawrence in for the punt. And now there's all sorts of issues, and a timeout has been called on this 4th down. We'll take the timeout as well. You're watching East Coast Football League action on ECFL.US, presented by Fans Only Sports Network.
Pharmaceutical company Prevacus says their new concussion medication Previsol helps repair nerves and promote cell growth.
There, we can get the drug in the brain in less than 5 minutes. And our plan is when we get that diagnosis on the field of play, give the drug nasally, get it in the brain quickly. When it gets in the brain, it actually gets into the nucleus of your brain cells, and it reduces swelling, inflammation, and oxidative stress at the same time.
When Jake and I first talked about this,
Fourth down and a punt play from the Mustangs, and again back deep as Williams for the Admirals. Penalty flag flies on the play. Dre Williams will allow that bounce, and it'll take a little run back, and they'll stop it at the 18, and we'll see what this penalty is on the play. Scores from around the league in earlier action today. Northeast Bulls 48-12 over the Southington Valley Vipers. Haverhill Hitmen took down the East Boston Pirates 7-0. Golden Badgers got shut out against the Windsor Flyers 40-0. Connecticut Mustangs last week beat the Troy City Titans 18-0. And I'm looking to try to see what the win was last week for the Southern New England Admirals. We'll come up with that one. Other game today was the Hartford Rebels against the Rhody Ravens. That game also here on ECFL.us. And the Hartford Rebels, the defending champs, went into Rhode Island and walked out with a 22-0 victory over the Rhody Ravens to open up their season. They did not have a game in the first week. I'm going to try to find that score from week 1.
Matt, as we look on the field here, the Admirals have somewhat decent ball position, but not the best.
Admirals from the 18 get that one through the middle. It's Cyprian again, and he picks up about 5, maybe 6 on the play, and he's going to get that one to the 24. Southern New England Admirals beat the Marlboro Shamrocks 14-13 to open their season. And the Mustangs had an 18-zip win over the Troy City Titans, and now they're stuck here in a 7-0 battle as they try to go up the middle, and that's a flag easily for unsportsmanlike conduct as the whistles had sound and getting WWE body slammed to the turf after the play, and that may be Cyprian down on the turf.
You know, you said WWE there, Matt. And to put it in WWE terms here in Hulk Hogan's matter, he got Andre the Giant, brother.
That was a hard lift and a hard slam down to the turf. The referee is going to go over and have a discussion with the Connecticut Mustangs staff. He's talking with their head coach. If that is he out of the game, perhaps? Unsportsmanlike conduct, first down. No disqualification signal from the referee. And it is Cyprian. He's up and on his own power, trotting off of the field. So Cyprian, thankfully, on his own power off of the field, and we're going to get a first down from the 36 after the assessment of the penalty. So the Admirals in a little bit of a better striking position now. First and 10. Flag flies again, churning and across to first down is the 14 of Keenan Thompson. And is that a holding? And now there's a player on the Mustangs side who's down on the field, and they're going to wave the flag off. We're going to get timeout on the field. There's a Mustangs player injured, and we'll take the timeout as well. You're watching East Coast Football League action on ECFL.US, presented by Panzoli Sports Network. As we've now officially gone under the lights late in this third quarter in that beautiful sunset, a little bit of a pink sky in the hills of Connecticut in West Haven, and we mean in the hills.
Folks, when he says in the hills, he's not kidding. We're literally in the middle of the woods.
Flag flies again. I'm not surprised. I was trying to get to the outside there for the Admirals.
You know, Matt, this game really seems like an early 4th of July celebration because flags are just flying around everywhere.
That is a good way to describe it as Williams goes. And the penalty is on the Mustangs. And so it's going to set up a 1st and 5 from the 48.5-yard line. And I thank God for playing on a turf field, because last week at Pierce we didn't have hash marks on the field. You try calling it where the ball is placed with no hash marks. Cyprian's back in, and Cyprian, ball loose, down by contact. And Cyprian came back in and just barreled right through the middle.
You know, Matt, this all ties back to the first quarter of the game, in the first half, rather.
Is it fourth quarter? Third.
It really seems like the story of this game, back to what we were saying, has been Cypern, a big man running back, almost with Frank Gore-like athleticism here for the Admirals.
Here goes that first down play, and Cyprian again.
There you go, Keenan. Nice.
Oh, that's Keenan.
There we go, baby.
And that's actually the 14. He had me confused there because I saw the 4 on the corner, and Keenan Thompson for the Admirals pushes that one up. And he picks up another first down. So it's 3-4 and 1-4. The 3-4 of Daryl Cyprian, the 1-4 of Keenan Thompson. Wow. That is a two-headed run game for the Admirals.
Okay. There you go, Keenan. There you go. There you go.
Keenan Thompson
Hey, so that line
again.
You know, Keenan Thompson and Cypern here are really like that Keenan Thompson movie called Good Burger because they're fitting together so well here. They're really selling, welcome to Connecticut. How can I serve you today?
As Keenan Thompson, the 1-4, is going to go over and take a rest on the sideline, and that's going to be second down and about 4 as we probably approach the fair end of the third quarter here. And another timeout called, and the way this is going with timeouts, I'm not sure anybody's going to have timeouts left for the fourth quarter.
And that's something that both of these teams could really use, Matt, for the fourth quarter, because if you look at the scoreboard over there, the Admirals are only up by a touchdown. This is really still anybody's game here with plenty of football left.
It's been an absolutely tight game. Admirals scored on their first possession of the game. Since then, it's been defensive ball on both sides. It's like seeing somebody hit a home run as a leadoff batter, and then you have a pitcher's duel the rest of the game.
Many moments like that with Barry Bonds, I'll tell you that.
Acosta sets up in the backfield. Cyprian back in. He tries to look for space. Nowhere to go. Flag flies again. Holding in the backfield on the Admirals, and that's going to take away some yardage.
You know, Matt, back to what we were saying in the first quarter again, and really first half, and now the second half is penalties. How many more penalties are these guys going to get on this game? Because it seems like this is more of a 4th of July celebration with all the flags coming out instead of a football game right now.
There is still a fourth quarter to be contested in this one, and we have seen, I think, as many penalties as we've seen pass plays today. Costa, Cyprian. Outside of Trey Williams. Oh, a little stiff arm from Williams. And that one right at the 10-yard line. Oh, Trey Williams. Jeez.
Matt, you want to talk about big plays, big moments? That was a huge play there for the Admirals. Trey Williams really looking like Derrick Henry playing wide receiver there with that massive stiff arm.
In the X button, left one, R one, whatever.
He hit sticked them there basically.
He hits it all there. A little stiff arm. Casa inside Cyprian. 2-yard push, and that's going to be good enough for to get across the 10-yard line. And it's going to be a 2nd and goal from the 8.
Man, I really still can't believe what we just saw from Trey Williams with that massive stiff arm.
That is a highlight reel for sure. I have a feeling that's going to end up as a reel on the IG later.
If this doesn't make SportsCenter top 10, maybe it'll make West Haven top 10.
It'll make Fans Only Sports top 10. Oh, what a play flying across the end zone. Marco Voro went lateral. Wow.
He flew so far, we almost saw Michael Jordan cross over into football like he did baseball there, and unfortunately drops it. Costly play there for the Admirals, but a huge sigh of relief for the Mustangs.
Marco Voro went lateral across the goal line and could not haul it in. So it's going to be 3rd down and 9 from the 9. 3rd and goal, we'll call it, of course. Let's see what Costa does this time. Fake to Cyprian. Trey Williams on the outside. Williams. Oh, he stopped at the 1. What did Trey Williams do? That's like What was that? 4th down at the 1. That makes me think of, who was it on the Cowboys that stopped him and stopped at the goal line, went to do
you're talking about the old Des Bryant play.
Why?
Why would he stop at the 1 goal? I'm just as puzzled as you here. I'm trying to figure out, this is harder to figure out than if they're going to let Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame here.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter, 7-0 Admirals. It's going to be 4th down from the 1.5-yard line after Dre Williams just froze at the line. We'll see if the Admirals can punch it in on 4th down. You're watching ECFL football on Fans Only Sports Network and ECFL.us. Fourth quarter and a 4th and 1. Pass play outside, inside, and they get it. Right at the back line. Costa had to drop back, flip to the outside, go back inside, and they pick up the 6.
Beautiful pass there from Costa to his man in the backfield. You want to talk about toe drag swag? Well, we could call that one heel drag swag because he kind of looked like Michael Jackson right in the back there standing on his heels.
And Costa's going to set this one up for the extra point. Not too many places you will see a quarterback place kicker. Welcome to the ECFL. Kick is up. Kick is good, and it's 14-0 for the Admirals. Now a little bit of breathing room.
Yeah, the Admirals really, when they were up only 7-0, really weren't comfortable and really didn't feel like they could pull away with this game. Now, with it being a 2-possession game, it really feels like the Admirals could do something here and pull away here.
Now 14-0 for the Admirals. And we felt like the Mustangs were sliding their way back into this game, maybe not so fast, as they finally break this drought that we've had since the Admirals scored back in the first series of the game. And now they'll kick it away, and the Mustangs need to go to work here in this 4th quarter.
Mustangs right now aren't looking like a Mustang itself. They're really looking like a pony because they haven't showed much fight here.
Short kick at the 40 across to the 42. And it looked to be that was the 6 of Terrell Fairweather. So Fairweather gets them to the 42. All right, talking about this during pregame about the Admirals coming out last week and running their first 8 plays on offense on run. And the Mustangs maybe need to come out and see if they can run their first 8 plays on offense here in this fourth quarter on run and see if they can establish a game. Again, looking, deep throw, Hopkins, no. They try to go to Alex Hopkins again, and wanting it badly was Randy Butler. He knew it. I think he might have slipped a little bit on this turf.
You know, Fligliora really kind of looks like Sam Darnold of the Carolina Panthers almost, Matt, because he can't find any of his targets. He's really just seeing ghosts out there right now.
All right, that's one of those players who used to be at the Jets. When he talked about ghosts, went to Carolina, and I think he was still seeing ghosts. Hasn't had a good work there. I have to admit, though, the funniest moment of last NFL season, of course, as we get ready for this one, really has to be Matt Stafford going to the Rams, and all of a sudden, and now he's making the AT&T commercial, which is just hysterical.
And he's throwing cheap shots.
He's throwing so much shade at Detroit in that commercial. So much shade.
When you're out of Detroit, you're out of the trouble zone. I guess that's what they say.
Garrett, empty backfield. Right up the middle. No one saw him. Huge catch for a first down at the 45 and gets a little bit more down to the 41.
You know, Matt, when you're looking at this Mustangs team, it's kind of like they've been doing this all game. If you look back with the fourth quarter to the second quarter, in the first quarter of the game, they really couldn't find a groove. The second quarter, they picked it up. Third quarter didn't find a groove. And now the fourth quarter, they look to be moving the chains almost as the Mustangs are slowly becoming a Mustang again instead of a pony.
And Charles Lyons. Big plays. Hopkins, big play. They go to the outside for Montreal Dobbs. That one was tipped as it was thrown from Palagera, and it bounces short of everyone. That's going to be second down. And in again. Trots the 5 of Tremaine Barnes. He was down injured earlier in this game. Looks to be all right as he comes back in. Palagera gets the play from the sideline and will trot back in.
Matt, it's almost like Figliora became Brett Favre for a split play there, and now he's back to being Sam Darnold again. Like, what's the story with him here in this second half, really, after an exceptional first half?
We'll see what he does. Empty backfield again for the Mustangs. This is about the third time we've seen them run that. He's caught up and pulled down at midfield. And again, a good defensive stop. Big stop. Money rolling.
You know, Matt, that defensive stop right there by number 34, that play, you know who that reminds me so much of, who used to do that? The late, great Reggie White really found an outside ability to jump on the ball, and once he got past that offensive line, it was all lights out from there.
I will enlighten the, as this one's going to be called a timeout, I will enlighten the analogies of my football career being to Rudy.
Great movie there.
Great movie, but that was my entire football career. No, I was a soccer player for life.
You were playing football, just not the American version of football.
That is correct. I was playing football. and then had a moment of playing this type of football and realized that it was not for me, and stuck myself to soccer. We're off next week for the 4th of July holiday. Of course, we hope everybody will enjoy that one, and then we will see you July 9th, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Same bat time, same bat channel, as we will get a look at 2 more teams in ECFL, as we will see the Rebels against the Bulls. So we'll see the Hartford Rebels and the Northeast Bulls in East Division action. And you can catch that game right here on ECFL.us. Foul again! Almost intercepted.
The Admirals almost intercepted that play there, Matt. Kind of like these trees around us are intercepting our feed for the fans at home to watch this great football game we got going on.
Joseph Walladay tried to get into the mix on that one. It's going to set up a 4th and long from the 49, injured player on the field. And so we'll take a timeout. And you're watching ECFL football action on ECFL.us. Back here in 4th quarter action, 14-0 Admirals over the Connecticut Mustangs. Time out, Admirals. Did they have misaligned personnel on the field? All right. Well, now timeout. We'll take a commercial break. You're watching East Coast Football League action.
Accidents happen, but they don't have to be the cause of financial hardship. Even with health insurance, an accident can result in major medical bills. Let's say you were playing football and an aggressive tackle broke your leg. An ambulance takes you to the emergency room where you were given care, but now you have 3 months of physical therapy before you are back on your feet. Your health insurance will cover a lot of your costs, but you will be required to pay your out-of-pocket maximum. The average out-of-pocket maximum in the U.S. is around $4,000. But you had planned for the unexpected. You signed up for LifeRoute.
Back after the timeout, followed by a timeout. And they're going to punt. And that's going to go way back in. Nobody in the backfield. And it bounces back in, but they're going to say it was into the end zone first before it bounced backward. And so it's a touchback. And we'll get 1st and 10 for the Admirals. And if the Admirals can be able to work the clock, they might be able to take this one to the finish line. Mustangs came into this game 1-0. Admirals came into this game 1-0. Somebody's going out of here 1-1.
Oh, definitely. You know, Matt, it's kind of like we almost need to call Scooby-Doo and Friends because we got a missing team case here. Like, where have the Mustangs been this whole game?
I'm going to liken it to whack-a-mole. The Mustangs seem to be popping out of different places. They seem to be in this game and then out of this game. Keenan Thompson. And he spins a little bit. Picks up 2 on the play, and that's going to be a 2nd down and 8. And I think this is exactly what the Admirals are gonna do is ground and pound. Like, just put the ball down and just try to run these little plays. Just try to tick off 2-3 yards each play and be able to eat the clock while they're in the process of it. Walk out of here with a 14-0 victory.
You know, Matt, I really like what the Admirals are doing right now because it reminds me of the Cincinnati Bengals as of last year. Within the last seconds of the games, they pound with these 2-3 yard plays, and they find a way to win.
We'll pass out in the flat, try to go the other way. Dre Williams! Dre Williams opens it up huge to the 45-yard line. Dre Williams was bobbled in the backfield, nowhere to go. And then all of a sudden, he said, hang on a second, and found a spot the other direction to the 45. That was good for about 20-25 yards.
You know, Matt, you got to wonder, is Dre Williams from New York? Because on that last play, he really just turned on the Jets there.
He did. I think Dre Williams is bidding for the USFL on a play like that. XFL returns next season again. It's going to make for fun having dueling summer leagues.
Especially since The Rock owns that league now.
He does. The Rock is a part owner of the league. And the Admirals continue to move this one again. Keenan Thompson through the middle. There's another Admirals player down on the turf. They're going to call it injury timeout again. We'll take the timeout as well. You're watching ECFL football action on Fans Only Sports Network.
Game On mouthguards. Game On mouthguards have superior shock absorbency, are impervious to viruses and bacteria, and also is the only mouthpiece ever to earn the American Dental Association's seal of acceptance.
As a 91 of Ricardo Gibson was the downed player for the Admirals as he's helped off of the field. Looks to be an ankle injury, and Admirals have second down from the 48. Cyprian, first down and then some, and Cyprian got popped right at the end. Was that Thompson? Did I get confused again by the 14 and the 34?
And again, another penalty here, Matt. Seems to be the story of the games, as it looks to be on the Admirals as they're moving back.
And that one is going to be on the Admirals. It's going to set them back a bit. I did, as Cyprian comes in on this play as Keenan Thompson. How do you have two running backs that literally look the same size, same shape, same stature, and you give them 34 and 14? That's what we call tonight's edition of Broadcasters Chaos. Cyprian is inside this time. Off to the edge of Costa. Here is Cyprian. Cyprian up the middle, still churning. He's going to get that one across the 45 to the 46-yard line. No flags on the field this time. And it's going to be about a 3rd and 8.
You know, Matt, talking about all these penalties in this game, you know, as a Cowboys fan, I have to throw a little shade at my team. Both these teams look like the Cowboys with the amount of penalties here on each of the teams here.
We saw the Cowboys last week, and that was the Rhode Island Cowboys of the ECFL, of course.
Hopefully their penalties are less than the Dallas ones.
We did not see we saw a few, but not very many penalties. This has been the most penalties I've seen all season. And again, that ball is tipped, trying to catch it on the opposite side, and not able to get there in time. And that might have been in orange, the 5 of Tremaine Barnes. So 4th and 8 from a 46. And looks to be special teams coming out here for the Admirals and the Mustangs. And so we're going to go punt, as the Admirals are going to try to pin the Mustangs as deep as they can with not a lot of time left to go here in the 4th quarter of this one. Zoom back on a punt play. Zoom back. Zoom back so that you can see the punt. Yep, perfect. That punt is going to go wide to the side. It's going to bound out of bounds at around about the 24 yard line. And now we're going to get 1st and 10 for the Mustangs from that 23 yard line.
You know, Matt, you mentioned how next week's the 4th of July. You got anything special planned?
I'm going to sit in my apartment and enjoy the 4th of July.
I hear you on that one. I'm probably going to be doing the same thing, as I have to go down to good old Cardines Field up our way in Newport, Rhode Island for some Newport Gulls baseball.
There you go. That's always a good one. Hot dogs and baseball on the 4th of July. I think I'm probably going to enjoy a little bit of 4-wheel action and sit on my couch and watch some NASCAR.
That's as American as it gets right there. Boogity boogity, let's go racing.
Pepsi 400 from Daytona on the classic 4th of July race. Falcara, a one-handed grab that could not be completed by the 13 of Montreal Dobbs, and guess what, Tyler? Flag on the field.
Did the Dallas Cowboys really move up to Connecticut? Because honestly, they're, as much as there's a penalty, I want to talk about Montreal Dobbs for a minute. You notice he's wearing the old blue and orange colors of the New York Giants, and he's number 13, and he almost made a one-handed catch. Who was the last blue and orange player to do that?
You went way back. If you were talking about New York Giants in blue and orange, I think that might have been back when they were still the New York Football Titans way back in the day. That is old school. Back when they played football games at places like the Yankee Stadium and the Polo Grounds in Ebbets Field.
The Giants did bring back those one-time throwback uniforms, and then they never brought them back again. And that was the game where number 13, Odell Beckham Jr., happened to pull out a miraculous one-handed catch, arguably one of the greatest catches of all time there, Matt.
They did. That they did. And I'm waiting for another NFL anniversary and see what throwbacks they come out with this time. That one's a pass that bounces off of the turf. And they're going to say incomplete as it bounced in front.
You know, Matt, you mentioned you're curious with this NFL season what throwback uniforms are coming back. I happened to check Twitter yesterday, and Adam Schefter reported that the Patriots are bringing back the throwback ready uniform.
They are, with the Pat Patriot original logo, and I am excited to see that one.
Let's just hope the Jets never bring back those ugly green ones again.
Oh, God.
The Joe Namath days of football, am I right?
Yeah, those were bad jerseys. I gotta say, for all things being, we've got some pretty cool threads here in the ECFL. I've actually liked what I've seen.
We do.
The RI Cowboys, the Rhode Island Cowboys uniforms last week, the blue with the white shoulders with the stars, great uniforms here. These Admirals and Mustangs. That one is intercepted. And now he's up and running as no one touched him. Is he going to get all the way through? Is it? I'm waiting for a signal for the referee. Touchdown. So an interception from Jared Antle. No one touched him, or so they say. And Antle picks it all the way back up and runs it in for a touchdown. It was called a touchdown. Now there's a conversation going on.
Matt, what is it that they say in the NFL about Deion Sanders? Prime time? You want to talk about a prime time moment here. That interception was as prime time as it gets because of the fact that it opens this game up really big with a margin for the Admirals.
They're going to have a conversation with this one amongst the referees. It was signaled a touchdown by the officials. Jared Antle got the interception and went all the way to the house. And we're going to argue this one until the cows come home, but I don't think they're going to win. Touchdown's going to stand. And it's 20-0.
I'll tell you, Matt, the Admirals really found their way in the second half here.
Lining up for the point after. Kick is down, kick is up. It's good. Costa's 3 for 3 on the singles. And it's 21-0. And the 2-minute warning sounds in the fourth quarter. And the Mustangs are going to get the ball back on the kickoff and have to try to come up with something crazy as they trail the Admirals 21-0. 2 minutes left to play. You're watching East Coast Football League action on ECFL.us.
Accidents happen, but they don't have to be the cause of financial hardship. Even with health insurance, an accident can result in major medical bills. Let's say you were playing football and an aggressive tackle broke your leg. An ambulance takes you to the emergency room where you are given care, but now you have 3 months of physical therapy before you are back on your feet. Your health insurance will cover a lot of your costs, but you will be required to pay your out-of-pocket maximum. The average out-of-pocket maximum in the U.S. is around $4,000.
Kickoff goes out of bounds. And so we're going to set up 1st and 10. They're still searching for a ball.
You know, Matt, it's like the Admirals came in here and wanted to channel their inner Michael Jackson into Connecticut and say, just beat it on their home turf.
False start called on the Admirals, but since it was on the kickoff, penalties declined. It's going to be 1st down and 10 from the 35, and we've got 2 minutes left to go here in this one. The last chance for Palagera and the Mustangs to try to put something on the board. We said coming into this game this was 2 of the quote-unquote top teams. And no, Palagera is not out there under. And there is a new quarterback for the Mustangs. It's interception. And still going, and back to the 35. And that was a huge interception. Was that? That was Jude Felix. So Jude Felix, who got hauled out on an injury earlier in this game, comes back in with fire and snaps one. And that's going to be the game.
You know, Matt, it's like the Admirals have been watching that new Obi-Wan Kenobi show on Disney Plus because the Admirals are telling the Connecticut Mustangs here right now, I am your father.
They have definitely taken this game to the house and then some.
Don't be surprised if we get a first down. So unless Keenan breaks this one, if he breaks left.
And this looks like this is going to be all of it. Hang on! Keenan Thompson! Oh, to the 10! Keenan Thompson was just trying to say we don't need to take a knee. He goes to the 10-yard line. I think now maybe. I think they're going to take a knee now.
Keenan Thompson saying instead of welcome to Good Burger, he's saying welcome to Admirals.
No, hang on. Keenan Thompson again. Keenan Thompson to the outside. To the 5. To the 2. Keenan Thompson to the 1. Keenan Thompson is not done. Are the Admirals going to exclamation point this game?
The Admirals are doing what the Atlanta Falcons couldn't do, and that's hold a lead in a big game.
Oh, you just 28-3 this thing. Thompson, touchdown. Keenan Thompson at the buzzer hits the touchdown. They will not kick the PAT, and the Southern New England Admirals will win this game 27-0 after they could have taken 3 knees, and instead they shove it down the throat of the Connecticut Mustangs.
You know, Matt, I know this is football, but in the words of Mike Breen, what would he say on a big play like that? He'd go, bang! Just the Admirals coming into this game, Mike, really just 28-3 almost the Connecticut Mustangs on their home turf, and it's just an exceptional performance by the Admirals as they improved to 2-0 and the Mustangs improved to 1-1.
Mustangs pull the 1-1. Admirals go to 2-0. They'll take over that top spot in the division, as we mentioned. Of course, no games next week for we're off for the 4th of July holiday, so we will see you on the 9th. Hartford Rebels, Northeast Bulls. Who's going to try to contend for number 1 in the East Division? For now, on this side of things, the Southern New England Admirals go to 2-0 and have top spot in the Southern Division. It's still early. We're in week 2. We've got 10 weeks left to go in this ECFL season. Well, thank you all for tuning in here on East Coast Football League action on ECFL.US, powered by Fans Only Sports Network. With Tyler Sumner, I'm Matt Jolis. We will see you in 2 weeks' time. Good night.